Now it appears to be all right. This is Ayya Sobhana at the Empty Cloud Monastery. I apologize for being a little bit late. We are challenged with giving ourselves enough time to get used to the new software that we're on right now. I'll pay respects to the Triple Gem. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammang sanghang namasami. For the next little while, I will be looking at different teachings with regard to the Bojjhangas.
We're still not good.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's usually not.
Buddhist Insights at Empty Cloud?
Yeah, because see, it's not going live.
What
It's
about
just
it?
here.
So,
It says 4 seconds.
different camera, different audio. There we go. Okay. Now it's finally working. So, massive problems with, you could do a whole Dhamma talk on change, anicca, with technology. Technology is always changing. There, it's changing some more. Okay, technology is changing. Here I am. We are discussing the Bojjhangas, the factors of awakening. And the sutta that I've chosen for this morning is about the nutriment for the factors of awakening. This is in the Bojjhanga Samyutta, which is chapter 46 in the Connected Discourses of the Buddha. This is the second sutta in the Bojjhanga chapter. I'm going to go right into it. Man against this body is sustained by food. It depends on food to continue. Without food, it doesn't continue.
I got a really good feeling about it.
In the same way, the 5 hindrances are sustained by fuel. They depend on fuel to continue. Without fuel, they don't continue. And a little further down in the same sutta, it says that the factors of awakening are sustained by fuel. They depend on fuel to continue. So the theme here is, if you want your hindrances to diminish and you want your factors of awakening to increase, it may not be the most skillful way to attack them directly, to try to disappear the hindrances, or to try to create the factors of awakening, but instead taking the indirect approach to nourish the supporting factors. And as you denourish the supporting factors for the hindrances, then they will gently fade away by themselves. So you're not using direct force on the hindrances. Instead, you're applying yourself to the fuel. The sensual desire is fueled by unwise application of the mind to the feature of beauty, subha nimitta. And what's translated here as unwise application of mind or irrational application of mind is ayoniso manasikara. So manasikara is to mind making, or what you do with the mind. And then yoniso is referring to the root, the base, the deep penetration into that factor. So unwise attention would be when a person is mentally hooked by some aspect of what's beautiful or what's desirable. You could say if the mind is triggered by what they think is beautiful or what they think is desirable. So depending on the type of person you are, you could say that a person with different features of their body is very attractive. And when you see their beautiful fingernails or their beautiful eyes, their beautiful lips, their beautiful skin color, something like that, the beautiful shape of the body, those things could be triggers for you. And if you let that become an obsession and the mind grasps onto that, that's giving the fuel for sensual desire. Sensual desire also refers to stuff, and so if you will spend time looking at the internet, looking at Amazon.com, browsing for products that you might want, and reading about the different features and qualities of the things they're trying to sell you. Those companies are intentionally feeding you triggers. They're very professional. They spent decades learning how to send you messages that will trigger your unskillful application of the mind, cause the mind to become obsessed. So if you then don't do that, that allows the sensual desire to gradually diminish. So one is to substitute the unskillful to the skillful. You see the danger, you see the impermanence, you see the disappointing qualities of things that otherwise you want. Or alternatively, you may choose to use restraint or to be selective in what you frequently pay attention to. And so if you limit yourself to spending like 10 minutes a day on the internet, that will reduce the possibility of being seduced by all the things they're trying to sell you over there. Likewise, with ill will, it's called the feature of aversion. The Pali is called patika, and that's actually referring to the visceral kind of aversion that you feel in the gut. It's compared to if you scratch your fingernails or the chalk on the chalkboard and it makes this horrible noise, and the body tightens up in a natural aversion to that. But if you encounter some behavior that's morally disgusting, that also can trigger the visceral reaction. Or if you see something that goes against your opinions, like for example, I'm here at the library of the Empty Cloud Monastery, and I prefer for this monastery to be neat and tidy. And so if I see something sloppy, then I get a visceral reaction to that because of my opinion. See? So then the wise attention is you're analyzing, you can see where those reactions are coming from. You can modify the factors that cause those visceral reactions to arise. In that case, it's even more obvious than with the sensual pleasure that interrupting the reaction, the yoni, so an aspect of the wisdom of not just reacting to the first thing on the surface that comes into your awareness, but allow another few seconds for the other things that you know, other aspects of your wisdom and knowledge and insight and perspective, to bring a different perspective to the thing that you're looking at, and that can also unwind that feature of aversion. So if you get caught up in aversion, the visceral reaction, and then if then you keep looking at the same thing that irritates you again and again and again, you look at it all day long. If you go on the internet and you go doom scrolling through all the bad news that you can find on the internet, or if you're interested in war, it's very possible on the internet that you could spend many hours watching different objects being blown up. And even if you get into some channels or some medium, you can see people being blown up. And it's not healthy. It's, we know that there are unskillful, unwholesome, and evil things in the world as well as within us. And we don't want to sweep it under the rug. We want to, as a base for compassion, to see and know about the unskillful things, but to chew on it in a way that is arousing and allowing our aversion and hatred to grow is a very bad strategy, bad for our mental health. So you want to control the quantity of time that you spend inclining and thinking about things that upset you. And you also want to bring wisdom, bring a different perspective, look at it in a different way, in a wiser way, so that those things are not upsetting you anymore, but bringing compassion. That's your will. So then, dullness and drowsiness. Do you feel tired? Would it be nice to lie down and take a nap? Did you not get enough sleep last night? Maybe you're not feeling quite well and you need to take a nap. Or maybe you have a big project coming up, you need to do a lot of work later on this evening, so you better take a nap? No, just in case. Or maybe you stayed up late last night working on a big project, and so you better take a nap. Or you're going to take a trip, and better take a nap so you'll be rested for your trip. Or you just returned from a trip and you're recovering from that, you should take a nap. Or you should, if you have a big meal and think, oh, what a big meal, I better take a nap. So those kind of thoughts, frequent unwise attention to those kind of thoughts feeds into the hindrance of sloth and torpor. And kind of like an opposite of that is energy. And if you just visualizing having better energy, having a balanced energy or having wise energy, and is an opposite to that. One of the factors that they mention here is as a factor for sloth and torpor is being discontent. And here's the nexus between sloth and torpor and aversion. So if you find things are boring, then your dislike of the subject is using it to, it's like an energy drain. Like your mental battery is draining out because of aversion, and then you feel sleepy. So those things go together. Then the restlessness and remorse. That is when the mind is unsettled, when the mind is worried. When you have problems, you have things to do. You have the things you're not satisfied with, things you're that are not just quite right. You want to fix things. You want to fix yourself, fix your problems, and that kind of not being at ease and satisfied with what you have in the present moment contributes to the unsettledness of the mind. Now, wise attention to those factors enables a person to direct wise effort or wise energy towards changing the mind, arising wholesome qualities that don't exist before, or letting go of unwholesome qualities. So there is to be said for that, but then having made the effort, especially if we're in meditation, there has to be a point where you stop, so that the effort is one factor, and then the straight mindfulness is another factor, and you have to accept what's there, what's real. So even if the mind is painful or the body is painful at a particular point of time in meditation, if one is able to be at rest with that, to be calm with that, and to say, well, this is unpleasant, or even if an unskillful thought is coming up in meditation, if you're so busy rushing around trying to get rid of that unwholesome thought, you may be unsuccessful. But if you would stop for a second and say, and just notice and realize, oh, this is unwholesome. See what I'm saying? If you got to stop long enough to be able to see it. You can't see it while you're in turmoil. So you got to calm down, and then you can see it. And then it may be that just merely as a result of seeing something that needs to change, that will make it possible to change something that needs to be changed. Or if it's something that is not able to be changed, then you can learn how to be content with things as they are. Okay. So then the things that are the grounds for arising of doubt, unwise attention to those things cause doubt to increase and grow. Even looking at the suttas in the early Buddhist texts, if you go over it with a fine-tooth comb, you will be able to find somewhere in the original Pali Suttas some sentence that the scholars will say, that sentence was changed and it's not accurate. Somebody made a mistake when this one was passed down, and they can prove it by, looking at some different versions of the same sutta in the different schools. But if that's becomes the main type of scholarship that you're doing, is looking for mistakes, looking for errors, looking for things that don't make sense, then you may miss the gist of the teachings, and looking for the things in the teachings that were said again and again, the things that are useful or helpful that you can bring into your life and apply for your own development and your own liberation. And likewise, the same thing with teachers. If you look at the Sangha, you could look at the modern Theravada Sangha and say, oh, there's something wrong with the bhikkhus and the bhikkhunis. And you could ponder about that. You could even join a group and discuss it with your friends about all the things that you dislike about the Sangha. And the frequent attention to that can cause the doubt to arouse and grow. But having a balanced mind then is framing what you are attending to in a way that is supportive for confidence and faith to arise. So then, for example, when I first started practicing Vipassana meditation, I noticed that my negative emotions became much smaller, and my wholesome emotions were growing. And so by paying attention to that, caused me to increase and grow in my faith. When I first met the first bhikkhu, the Theravada bhikkhu that I ever met, he was very generous in his way of giving the teaching. And so noticing his generosity caused my faith to grow. Noticing his calmness caused my faith to grow. So then you can choose like what you're paying attention to and focusing on. And if the way that you're attending and focusing is causing doubt to arise, you might be focusing in the wrong way or looking in the wrong way. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't have questions. The Buddha recommended asking questions and praised asking questions. So always good to ask questions, but consider what is fueling the kind of doubt that is blocking and preventing you from being able to practice. So if you feel so doubtful that you can't decide, well, should I be a Theravada? Maybe I should go over to the Pure Land. Maybe I should be a Christian. I'm not so sure. What should I do? And then you're not able to commit to anything, and then you don't get the result from being not able to make a commitment. So at least having enough confidence to commit to practice and internalizing it and making it your own, right? And that includes the doubt about yourself, about your own ability to benefit from this practice and these teachings. So if you're looking within yourself in a harsh, critical, negative way that makes you feel that you're no good, you're never going to be able to make it. That's unwise attention. So learn how to reframe your way of paying attention in a way that builds confidence. And as well, don't spend the excessive amount of time thinking, talking, chatting, and looking for affirmation from your friend about things that cause skepticism and doubt to grow. Okay, so that's the aspect of the hindrances. But now I want to look at the awakening factors, which is actually the main theme. I'm going to go over the time because we started a little late due to our technical problems. Then this is continuing with the Kaya Sutta, which is number 46.2 in the Connected Discourses, the Samyutta Nikaya. The factors of awakening it's simply listed here, and because it's just a list without explanation, if you've read this sutta, your mind might have glazed over and you sort of just skip past it without really considering how beneficial this is. So, what fuels the arising of the awakening factor of mindfulness? Okay? There are things, this is what the sutta says, there are things that are the grounds for the awakening factor of mindfulness. Frequent, wise attention to them cause this factor to arise and to grow. Well, this sutta doesn't tell you what the things are. So you've got to refer to the knowledge that you have elsewhere from having studied the sutta. And the things, in this case, that are grounds for the awakening factor of mindfulness, in particular, are the four foundations of mindfulness. So just learning how to frequently and regularly, with wisdom, pay attention to the body, the feelings, the states of mind, and the Dhamma factors, and paying attention in a wise way to see the arising, the cessation, the arising and the cessation of those factors. That's it right there. Those are the grounds for that awakening factor. Giving wise, frequent, wise attention to those is the way to make mindfulness grow. And mindfulness is a starting point. The factors of awakening are a sequence that is cumulative. So mindfulness supports investigation, mindfulness and investigation support energy, and so on. So these factors are growing cumulatively. So the next factor is called Dhamma Vichaya, translated as the investigation of principles or investigation of Dhamma. So this is the analytical method, and the way to develop that, as is explained in this sutta, there are qualities of the mind that are skillful, unskillful, blameworthy and blameless, inferior and superior, those that are dark and those that are bright. Frequently giving wise attention to those factors is the way to cause investigation of Dhamma to grow. So this is a very, there are many different ways that factors of the mind, factors of our experience, factors of phenomena can be analyzed. But in this sutta, they're giving special attention, just clearly seeing what's skillful, what's not skillful, what is conducive to my welfare, what's conducive to perpetuating my suffering, what is making my suffering increase, what's making suffering decrease. And this is a way it's cultivating a certain perception of the kind of thoughts we're thinking and the kind of state of mind we're carrying, and having developed that perception, that we can then be more frequently and continuously noticing what we experience in those terms. In the sutta about the two kinds of thought, in the middle length discourses, the Buddha said, when I was just a bodhisattva, before my awakening, I divided my thoughts into those two kinds of thought. And so the first exercise was simply to classify them: the bright and the dark, the wholesome and the unwholesome. And then having done that, the mind naturally gravitates towards the wholesome, because the mind naturally gravitates towards happiness. And once the mind is able to discern and see what's the basis for true happiness, then the mind naturally goes there. Once the mind is able to discern and see what perpetuates our dukkha, then the mind naturally is willing to let go and come away from those. So that's the second factor of awakening. Then we have the energy. This is energy is the opposite of that sloth and torpor. And I mentioned before about like pondering energy. And this is what's given here. What fuels the arising of the awakening factor of energy, or when it has arisen, fully develops it. It says there are three elements: initiative, persistence, and exertion. Arambha is that stirring up energy. persistence, nikama, and then exertion. That's the energy that is going beyond. Frequent, wise attention to these three kinds of energy helps to arouse the energy and to develop it. So there are things that you'll have in your life that are naturally energizing. It's the kind of activities and work that are uplifting or inspiring, that brings you joy, or else the kinds of activity and work that comes naturally to you because it's what you're used to, the things that you're well trained in. So if you were, I guess, I'm not going to insult anybody, if you were a horse and your master likes to go out for a trot in the morning or go for a run, then when the boss puts on the saddle and ties the saddle up, then it comes up right, okay, I get to go for a run. And so then the energy and the enthusiasm comes up. And so just the same way, there are things that that you've done very frequently, that you enjoy doing, that are arousing energy for you. And so it's okay to use those memories or those thoughts to develop the perception of what energy is. So you know, like, what's going on with your mind and what's going on with your body when positive energy is aroused. And then that initiative, that's kind of like the energy to start something. So if you're into procrastination, you could try to recall what it's like to start something and develop that starting energy to get off the mark and get going. So you remember, like, probably every day you got out of bed. So maybe you were thinking, if I get out of bed, I'll be able to sit for meditation, and I'm so excited about meditation that it makes me want to something to get up for. Or maybe you're thinking you'll have your morning meal or your morning beverage or something like that, and that gives you something to get up for. So starting, and then the persistence is when you start, if you go part way, this is a personality type. Some people, they're good at starting, but they're not good at follow through. So imagine like it's a race and you're going to go the entire course to the finish line. And reflect and think about the kind of energy that keeps going and doesn't stop. So if I want to go to New York City, it's pretty easy to do. First I get one bus, and then I get a different bus and a different train or something like that. And after I make 3 different stops, and then I eventually will come out of the subway and I'll be in the city. Or I'll come out of the train at Penn Station, I'll be in the city. So I don't just go down to West Orange and say, well, okay, this is good enough. No, where I'm trying to go is the city, so I keep going until I get there. And then the last one is called the surpassing energy. And so that's like the ultimate energy, like going beyond what you've ever done before. And the visual that I like to imagine for this kind of energy is a parent who has a baby. And if it was their first child, they might have no clue about how much energy they're going to have to dedicate to the care and raising of that child. But because they're a parent, maybe they'll find within themselves that they have more strength, more persistence, more ability to give and give and give and give whatever that child needs until that child is grown up. And so that you can have your own example, but that's a kind of energy to go beyond, to do better than you ever did before. Even, I guess, athletes also are usually trying to improve themselves to get a better time than the time that they had before, to accomplish something that's never accomplished before. So that's that kind of energy. So frequently being aware of the energy when you have it, and being aware of being able to visualize the kind of energy when you want it. And it's natural that when you can see the dark and the bright, or the skillful and the unskillful, that sort of has a tendency to light a fire. When you say, "Wow, that's unskillful, I better run away from that unskillful quality," or, "Oh, this is something skillful, this is really for my benefit." You see, once you see that clearly, it's natural. The energy comes to go towards the thing that's beneficial. And then in terms of meditation, the kind of energy is particularly is come onto samavayama, which is an aspect of meditation which is involved with the purification of the mind and exerting not just energy to do physical activities, but also the energy to cultivate pure state of mind, which is the first part of the samadhi section, the bhavana section, the meditation section of the Eightfold Noble Path. And the reason I put it in that context is that the next awakening factor is piti, or rapture, which is referring in particular to the joy of meditation. So bringing up joy in life is a very good precursor to bringing up, to being able to access joy in meditation. If you come to the meditation cushion and your mind is obsessed with dislike or a grudge or a resistant or not accepting, not being comfortable, or if you come and the mind is troubled with different kinds of emotions, it could be that it's difficult to find the joy, the piti to arouse in meditation. But to make progress in meditation, you need to be able to find the joy. If you are sitting in meditation and the hindrances are strong, and you have body restlessness, you have pain in the body, you have restlessness in the body, you have restlessness in the mind, it's very difficult to pay attention to the object of meditation for even 30 seconds in a row, not to mention for many minutes in a row. In that case, we do recommend hang on, hold on to the cushion, hold on to the physical posture, don't give up, and just sit with what you have as the state of the body and mind. So don't run away from meditation. Instead, do your best to relax with it and just notice, okay, so the mind is unpleasant this morning. The body is painful this morning. The mind keeps getting carried away in thought this morning. But just be with it. Don't give up meditation. Don't give up mindfulness. Be aware, be mindful all of the difficulties are like your learning opportunities, but persisting like that, even with a meditation that's very challenging, you may find that coming out of that meditation, you can say, wow, I did it. Even though my mind was very restless and my body was very painful, I was able to sit for the full 60 minutes or 90 minutes and able to stick with this meditation. And then you feel at the end, when you get up to shift the posture and so forth, you can feel some relief and some happiness about that, some accomplishment about that. But look for the moments that you have the grounds for piti. It says in this sutta, there are things that are grounds for the awakening factor of rapture or piti. Frequent rational application of the mind is how it grows. But this sutta doesn't explain what those things are. But we can go refer to our other knowledge. This is particularly our knowledge of meditation. So we know that the subsiding seclusion from the hindrances and the seclusion from unwholesome states of mind is the proximate cause for the arising of bliss in meditation. And so all day long, if you're paying attention to the dark and the bright, you've learned how to recognize them, you could notice your dark state of mind disappeared for a minute. And then you may experience that you're flooded with relief and happiness because your dark mind state has subsided, or just because of, even if you're not skillful, just because of impermanence. Sometimes you forget to hold a grudge. Sometimes you forget to be miserable. Sometimes you forget to be depressed. And just by accident, you see a cat or a puppy or a sunshine or a flower or something like that, and all of a sudden you feel happiness. Or the person that you were annoyed about, for some reason you're just not annoyed with them, and say, oh, I love you. I'm not annoyed with you. and so then so when you see, when you see the subsiding of the hindrances, and you see it clearly, and those moments when any one or any combination of the hindrances is actually gone, I will call this is your island. So you may have just a couple of minutes in which the hindrances are not there, or you could make that island grow by paying attention to it until this island of seclusion, being secluded from the hindrances, grows and grows and grows until it becomes a very large island, or it may become like a continent. And then when you realize finally, you're stabilized in that, that's just the base for the piti to arise. And then as regarding the next factor is the factor of tranquility. And the factors for that, it gives two: the tranquility of the body, tranquility of the mind. So learn to notice if you have either discomfort or pain or restlessness in the body. Sometimes, I'm showing my age. For some people, the pain is chronic, so it's a frequent companion. But you could notice sometimes the mind is just relaxed, or the mind, actually the awareness of pain is not there. And the body is tranquil because the mind is somewhere else. And same way with the mental factors. sometimes the mind is in that state in calm and tranquility. So you practice like you study tranquility of the body, you study tranquility of the mind until you get a hold of what it's like. You could get some metaphor or some memory of the tranquil body and the tranquil mind, and be able to remember like those moments when the body and mind are tranquil. And so you notice them clearly, you remember them, and then by remembering them, you're developing a perception of the tranquility of body and mind. And then when the body-mind becomes more tranquil, you can recognize, okay, this is going towards tranquility. And then once you recognize it, so that's part of the wise attention to the factors of tranquility. The factors of samadhi, that's like the seclusion, the piti, the rapture, the unification of mind, the mindfulness, these are the factors that are given that if you study jhana and you look at where the jhana is explained in terms of its factors. So you could see that these factors that are associated with jhana are present either to a powerful extent or to a weaker extent. To some extent, these factors are present. And by noticing the factors, then you can know whether you're moving towards samadhi. And then the last is the factor of, the awakening factor of equanimity. And here again, the sutta doesn't help you because it doesn't say, it just says there are things that are the grounds for the awakening factor of equanimity, but it doesn't explain what they are. So you have to refer to the knowledge you have outside about what the awakening factor of equanimity really is. One of the things that's a basis for that is the samadhi. So all of the previous factors that you have, starting with mindfulness, investigation of Dhamma, energy, bliss, samadhi, all of those things are part of the support for equanimity. Another aspect of the ground for the awakening factor of equanimity is if you look at you could say the weaker form of equanimity, which is contentment or patience. So in everyday life, if you're content with the way things are, if you're not dissatisfied, that habit of mind is a ground for equanimity in combination with the whole stream of all the other factors of awakening leading up to this point. This is the ultimate. If you think of the qualities of equanimity, the quality of not being disturbed, and what's the basis for not being disturbed is not clinging, right? So if one is not clinging to anything in the world, there's nothing to be disturbed about. And then the other aspect of equanimity is clear seeing. So equanimity is able to see everything evenly. So it's able to give balanced attention. Normally our attention is attracted to things that are strongly pleasant and unpleasant. And we don't pay very much attention to things that are in between and neutral. And that's why people exaggerate the pleasant and unpleasant things that happen. But merely doing the practice of, like, every second, just notice what's up, what's happening, giving an equal attention to every second or every moment of our experience. And if you do that, you might notice that actually the neutral moments, the neither pleasant or unpleasant moments, are the majority of the day. And only a smaller percentage of the whole day is strongly pleasant and strongly unpleasant. And that will give you actually a certain kind of freedom. Like if something strongly pleasant happens, you don't get too excited about it because you know this is only a small portion of reality. And you don't get too distressed about something unpleasant because you know that's only a small portion of reality. So just that practice of giving equal attention helps to develop equanimity. Having the practice in daily life of looking for contentment, being satisfied. And then last of all, developing all of the preceding factors and the factors of awakening to bring to develop samadhi in deep meditation, and experiencing the seclusion from the hindrances in deep meditation is one of the most powerful things that a person can have for becoming really stabilized in equanimity. So this is the sutta, and I'll just quickly scroll through the comments here. So this will be all for today, and we will be continuing to speak about these 7 factors of awakening, and there are a couple of different ways of looking at it, and you'll hear about it in the coming weeks. So thank you all for your patient listening and for your patience with our slow start today.